Thanks for joining us on TVC News at 10. Many Nigerians are now groaning over the directive by the federal government to telcos to disconnect subscribers who are yet to register and link their NIN to their SIM. After a series of deadline extension, this reaction is coming on the first day after the federal government directive took effect. What that means is that the federal government seems to be serious this time in ensuring that all SIMs are linked with the NIN. That directive has now been implemented as many Nigerians have experienced difficulties in making calls today. The government's directive was announced in a statement jointly signed last Monday by Director Public Affairs of the Nigeria Communications Commission, Ikechukwu Atinde, and Head Corporate Communications at the National Identity Management Commission, Kayode Adegoke. Over 125 million SIMs, according to the statement, have had their NIN submitted for linkage, verification and authentication, and NIMC has issued over 78 million unique NINs to date. According to the NCC, at least 72.8 million subscribers risk being disconnected from telecommunication services following the latest directive. Let's turn attention now to Kaduna, where some parts of the state is fast becoming a graveyard for the young and the elderly. Barely a week after terrorists attacked an Abuja-Kaduna bound train, killing some persons and kidnapping others, another deadly attack has been launched on a military base in Beningwari local government area. The latest attack by terrorists has sent at least 10 soldiers to their early graves, with others severely injured. Beningwari is one of the hot spots of banditry in Kaduna, where many people have been killed, thousands kidnapped, and socio-economic activities disrupted in the past 5 years. A security source in the area told TVC News earlier today that the soldiers were attacked at an Army forward operational base located around the Powai area close to Mekati Farm along the Kaduna-Beningwari Road. He explained that the soldiers, who were few in number, were taken unaware by the terrorists who stormed the base in large numbers on motorcycles with sophisticated weapons and immediately opened fire on the soldiers. Meanwhile, former Governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has arrived Kaduna to sympathize with the government and people of the state over recent terrorist attacks which have left many killed and others kidnapped. Asiwaju Tinubu, who was accompanied by former Governor of Borno State, Senator Kashim Shettima, announced the donation of 50 million naira to victims of the attack. ALHASSAN reports.
The national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, arrived in the Kashim Ibrahim House in Kaduna. He is accompanied by some senior political office holders. Asiwaju Tinubu have come to sympathize with the governor and people of Kaduna over the recent train attack by terrorists, where government figures confirmed that 8 people were killed. And Governor Nasir El-Rufai was pleased by his visit and even displayed a rare gesture of ceding the designated seat of the executive governor to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. The visiting former Lagos governor outrightly condemned the attack on innocent citizens. He says the fight against terrorism should be given a collective effort.
What happens to people on the Kaduna to Abuja train was a disaster for all of us. We need to fight the terrorism with all aspects of our energy, whatever we have. Once it happens to one, it happens to all.
He then presented his condolence letter before donating 50 million naira to the Kaduna government for the rehabilitation of the victims. Kaduna state government officials thanked their visitor for this kind gesture. And Governor Nasir El-Rufai admitted that unlike other leaders, Bola Tinubu is a man full of empathy and a great leader who seeks to unify Nigerians.
This gesture by Asiwaju is a show of powerful leadership, empathy, and concern for the lives and property of Nigerians. The government and people of Kaduna State will never forget this gesture. Thank you.
governor also promised to be part of the political engagement aimed at actualizing the presidential aspiration of Bola Tinubu.
And we are aware of your aspiration to be the president of this country, and we look forward to further engagement so that we can progress that project.
Outside, a crowd had already gathered to catch a glimpse of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a political leader that is revered, loved and cherished by many. And this was proof to the swelling support base of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in northern Nigeria and puts him in pole position ahead of the 2023. The next stop was at St. Gerard's Hospital, where Bola Tinubu commiserated with the hospital over the loss of one of their doctors, Chinelu Megafo, who died in the train attack. He also visited Sheikh Dahiru Bauchi at his residence before departing Kaduna. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
Well, the Southeast has also been engulfed in a spate of violence. The only difference is the bandits and terrorists were to blame the Northeast. The mayhem, which found its epicenter in Imo State, was largely attributed to faceless gunmen. This report by Prince Uba examines the incidents and its effects on residents.
Imo State is known for hospitality and tourism and kept a face that endeared it to many as a destination of choice before the onset of terror that literally grounded economic activities. First, it started out as attacks on police facilities. Many thought it was an offshoot of the NSAS protests. But when the Correctional Center, where more than 1,800 inmates were freed, and the headquarters of Police Command in Owerri were torched in one day, with more than 30 vehicles burnt down, it was clear that something new was unfolding. Before long, the country home of Governor Hope Uzodinma in Omuma community of Oru East local government area was hit. Socio-economic activities in the state nearly came to a halt. For many, even the daily activities of buying and selling of petty commodities became a luxury. Other states such as Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu and Abia, and even Rivers were all affected, as peace and order appear to have taken a flight. This development severely traumatized residents as their means of livelihood were badly affected. Some security personnel deployed to the state at that time were accused of unprofessionalism.
One way or the other, they fall victim in the hand of the security agents. And so the security agents will do something so that the innocent ones will not suffer unjustly.
1 year after, the tension has largely eased. Security in the state has tremendously improved. Businesses are picking up fast, but residents want the government to be more proactive.
Right now, things are picking up gradually. Not that all is well, but we believe that with the situation, with the security situation, things are coming to normal.
For the hospitality industry in the state, it was also a trying time, as hotel owners were forced to lay off about 40% of their staff due to shortfall in patronage occasioned by the insecurity.
Some of the oil companies that their staff used to come here for seminars, our place is a place they come to hang out. They don't come, they haven't started coming in full because the company still tells them that Imo State is not safe, that's why I said the government has to intervene to assure them of their safety so that they can leave that embargo.
The Imo State Economic Development Initiative believes the only way to address unemployment, insecurity, and youth restiveness is through robust and meaningful engagement of youth to close the already widened gap created by successive governments which made some youth vulnerable to crime and criminality.
We shall take the battle against criminality to the den and hideout of these hoodlums.
Governor Hope Uzodinma at Imo stakeholders meeting assures investors of their safety as peace has fully been restored.
Imo State is now safe and secure, willing and able to contend future threats to the glory of God.
As the state is now enjoying relative peace, restoring public confidence in the ability of government is no longer in words. It's been matched with action. Prince Uba, TVC News, Owerri.
And the European Union says it will donate 30 boats and other forensic equipment costing about 5.4 million euros to ECOWAS. This donation is coming under the West Africa Integrated Maritime Security Project, aimed at aiding its fight against maritime insecurity. Moyo Thomas reports.
This high-level seminar by the ECOWAS Commission is to discuss the allocation of rigid-hull inflatable boats, RIBs, and forensic equipment to 12 coastal member states in the region. The two-day seminar is to deliberate on the review of the Memorandum of Understanding and agreement on the allocation of the RIBs. It is also to ensure proper coordination of the security architecture and activities of the Navy in the region. The boats and forensic equipment will significantly enhance the capacity of beneficiary countries against maritime crimes.
We can never talk about development without security. So it's with security everybody must work together. We need the cooperation of all the states here present.
When we try to fight insecurity in the Gulf of Guinea, we believe that this is a common goal for you, coastal states, and also for us, for our freedom of navigation in the European Union.
Report has it that 95% of all sea kidnappings and piracy in 2020 happened on the West African coastal waters in the Gulf of Guinea. This makes strengthening response to these threats very important.
Every country of ECOWAS will be able to work together to fight against every threat that we have on our maritime sector.
But even the most dedicated and well-trained staff need the right tools to do their job. And this is why today marks a material shift in this project. We are moving into the delivery of the equipment. And this will significantly enhance the performance of maritime security and law enforcement agencies in each coastal ECOWAS member state.
Overcoming insecurity challenges on the sea is as important as that of the land in order to achieve the desired development in the region. The West African region loses millions of dollars to piracy, illegal fishing, and other forms of maritime crimes, which a coordination meeting such as this aims to address. Moyo Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.
The Nigeria Police Force has approved the continued training of personnel of Explosive Ordnance Disposal Command on the operation and maintenance of mobile detection system. This training is in partnership with the Office of the National Security Advisor, as well as the Office of Nuclear Smuggling, Detection and Deterrence at the United States Department of Energy. A statement signed by the Acting Force Public Relations Officer CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, 30 officers drawn from across the country participated in a two-week capacity building workshop to re-strategize performance levels and safeguarding the country against internal security threats. The Inspector General of Police Akali Baba also approved a new name for the EOD command as Explosive Ordnance Disposal Chemical, Biological, Radiological and Nuclear Defense, in line with the newly approved Force Order 472. He noted that the EOD CBRN command has received 5 mobile detection system vans, 3 radioisotope identification devices, among other equipment. Thanks for staying with us. The Independent National Electoral Commission is now talking tough ahead of the 2023 general elections. And what the electoral body is saying is that political parties should ensure their primaries are properly conducted in line with relevant laws. The advice was contained in a statement signed by INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye. Mr. Okoye warned that the electoral agency will not hesitate to disqualify parties in primaries that do not adhere strictly to the principles of internal democracy. He also advised parties to avoid contentious primaries that may lead to unnecessary lawsuits. The Senate has extended the implementation of the 2021 Appropriation Act from March 31st to May 31st, 2022. The upper chamber gave approval for the budget extension after examining a bill to amend the 2021 Appropriation Act. Presenting the bill during Tuesday's plenary session, Senate leader Yahaya Abdullahi said the extension of the budget period is necessary to ensure that ongoing projects are completed. He also explained that appropriation acts in the past were passed mid-year, with their implementation usually extended to the following year, and these extensions are covered by a clause in line with the provision of Section 318 of the Constitution that the Act runs for a period of 12 months starting from the date it comes into effect. In other stories, the federal government has created a bureau charged with the protection of data. The bureau's logo, website and core values was launched by the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Issa Patami. Celestina Area has details.
Before the advent of national data protection regulations, organizations had no functional accountability system for data privacy. NDPR created a functional accountability system for data privacy from zero data privacy audit compliance in 2018 to 635 in 2020. The top performing sectors are finance 41%, consultancy 9.2%, ICT and digital media 8.8%, and manufacturing 7.9%. In order to build a requisite indigenous capability for driving the digital sector, the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy has officially launched the Nigerian Data Protection Bureau, a certified body of national data protection regulations.
Data generation is increasing. That is what brought about datafication of society. It is because of this we feel it is necessary in a country like Nigeria that we are blessed with a huge population, and the population is also increasing by the day. There is need for us to have an institution of government that will be mandated with data privacy, data security, and data confidentiality.
When you put your data there, what is your right? In terms of your consent, in terms of security of what you are giving there, in terms of storage, in terms of availability of the data, in terms of security.
Digital economy thing, people don't even understand what we are doing. But now we all know, even the marketers, the local people doing businesses in local markets, they now know what digital economy is today.
We in NIMC, we store the identity data of personal of the citizens and legal residents, and we also believe that it's really the most important data that is being kept about people.
The NDPB is a product of a subsidiary legislator of the Nigerian Information Technology Development Agency, passed on the 25th of January 2019. Data privacy issues can mar or make democracies and literally undermine a country's national security and bring far-reaching consequences to the country and its people. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.
The House of Representatives has called for investigations into the causes of deaths and permanent disabilities resulting from negligence by medical practitioners across many hospitals. This comes on a day the lawmakers moved to probe the astronomical increase in the prices of diesel and domestic gas. Jackie Adesa reports.
The persistent epileptic power supply across the country worries the lawmakers.
The House notes that electricity...
Chief Whip Muhammad Mongunu brings it up under matters of urgent national importance.
Lack of adequate power supply retards our industrial growth and thereby also retarding our economic growth.
Lawmakers have now called on relevant disciplinary bodies to probe the causes of death and permanent disabilities among some patients as a result of negligence of medical practitioners.
Medical negligence is a failure of a medical practitioner to exercise reasonable care in the course of discharging professional duty. Thus, registered practitioner who fails to exercise the skill or act with a degree of care expected of this experience.
The continued rise in the prices of diesel and domestic gas also received the legislators' attention. Their resolve is to liaise with relevant authorities with a view to having a fixed price.
Hike in the cost of diesel is alleged to be
the handiwork of unscrupulous stakeholders in the industry, and is tantamount to economic sabotage.
We look at it in the face and see how they can assist, accommodate, irrespective of the circumstance. It's an appeal.
Worried by the non-submission of reports after more than 1 year, the House is to discharge its committees of about 192 referrals. But some of the committee heads attribute the delay to lack of funds and technical challenges other than incompetence.
I need you to do a compilation of committees, either standing or ad hoc, that have failed up till now to submit their reports. Those committees will be discharged on Thursday.
It can only discharge its function when it is funded. In that kind of situation too, Mr. Speaker, those committees need to be considered so that we will not portray ourselves here as people that are not willing to discharge responsibility given to them.
In one of its motions, the House called on the federal government to pay the over 6 months' salaries of 60 teachers in its colleges across Delta State to alleviate their suffering. Joke Edsa, TVC News, Abuja.
Still in Abuja, a co-creation workshop series has been organized to address the challenges and gaps in oncology, mental health, nursing and midwifery education in Nigeria. The two-day event hopes to strengthen the weaknesses that exist in patient care and improve opportunities for the future of nursing in Nigeria. Kemi Balogo reports.
Nurses and midwives remain a fundamental part in the provision of safe, accessible and affordable health care to any population. The need to keep improving for the future of nursing care is now more important than ever before. As part of ways to keep improving these nursing and midwifery techniques, this co-creation workshop has been introduced. 3 key areas of oncology, mental health, and midwifery education are being highlighted here.
Looking at the Sustainable Development Goals and the importance of mental health, cancer, which is oncology, and midwifery, there was a need to sort of refocus our plan and our agenda to come up with a roadmap how we can improve human resources in these 3 areas in Nigeria.
The people in this room today are the experts in the fields of oncology nursing, mental health nursing and midwifery. We've also got a number of government representatives from the Department of Health, and this workshop is around, it's an opportunity for everybody to bring their expertise, bring their knowledge and find solutions.
It's one workshop that has come at the right time because we are looking at the attainment of SDG 3, which concerns health by the year 2030. 2030 is already around the corner. Is to try and identify the gaps that are necessary towards addressing these 3 critical areas of health that are itemized and that are being discussed over these past 2 days.
Partners and participants at this workshop believe that it will help to give a clear focus through examining the strengths, weaknesses, threats and opportunities that exist, and also to find ways to address them. This co-creation workshop is taking place in the nation's capital for the Northern Zone, while that for the South will take place in Lagos State. Kemi Balogun, TVC News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, the nursing profession has taken a dip in Nigeria due to complaints by the caregivers that their professional needs are not being met by government. In the next report, senior correspondent Jacqueline Ogo takes a look at some of the challenges of the nursing profession. We'll be back with business news thereafter.
Is designed to be a major propeller of efficient service delivery in the health sector. Nurses in Nigeria say they pilot key services with what they describe as discouraging remunerations. At this graduation ceremony of fellows of the Nigeria chapter of the West African Postgraduate College of Midwives and Nurses in Lagos, the challenges of the nursing profession, now made more glaring by the COVID-19 pandemic, took the front burner.
Some develop mental health complications, some develop severe respiratory problems, and a lot of them die in the process.
Many Nigerian nurses are more in love with the nation's international airports than with its hospitals, because they see their flights out of the country as the real solution to the realistic achievement of their professional aspirations.
Almost every day, nurses are dropping letter of resignation, letter of voluntary retirement, letter of abscondment, if it's possible.
The nurses are highly upset about their 5,000 naira hazard allowance, which they describe as very ugly. They say they are also tired of families of patients harassing them during emergencies because they believe they should be able to perform some forms of wonders.
In terms of their training, the training is first class. I can tell you that. But they don't have the resources, the equipment and the environment and the motivation to work.
Yes, better budgets for the health sector. Then also, nurses should be well recognized.
Lagos State government averted a strike by nurses in the state in January with a pledge to give attention to a 13-point demand they presented. Despite that, nurses are still leaving the state daily as well as the nation.
Watchers of the nation's healthcare sector say to avert the crippling effect of negative reactions by nurses and other healthcare providers, the government must rise up with adequate solutions much faster than usual. Jacqueline Ogo, TVC News, Lagos.